way of saying that.
All right, there's going to be a lot of music later too. All right, hello everyone. It's
There we
Wednesday.
go.
It's church. It's
We
New
need
Year's
honestly. We should put the word out and get people to produce astrological gospel music.
Whoa. All right, if anyone's listening, we need some astrological gospel to have an opening for this show, and we need the copyright to it. So
Yeah.
I could
Perfect.
probably do that. I could probably work on something like I know I'm white, but come on. All right, here we go. Jenna and I are being dorks. It's Happy New Year's to everyone. It's Capricorn season. People set resolutions and goals and things. So, but we're here for the Ricky Williams show, which today we had Jenna back to ask random questions to you, Ricky. Just I have no idea what the questions are, but we're having a lot of fun grilling you with questions. So that's what we decided we'd do today.
Yep. Okay. And the reason I call it church is because I'm allowed to answer the questions any way I want.
Interesting. As long as the Holy Spirit's in the room, you can do whatever you want.
100%. Well, I think if it's in the name of religion, then we usually step back and let people have, right? Because I think one of the things our country was rooted in is freedom of religion. And if I think once you pass your Iranian opposition, then your opinions essentially are your religion, and so you should be free to share them. And people should be free to leave. They can't say shut up, but they're free to leave and not be in the vicinity of the opinions.
Interesting. Well, I'm not leaving because my boyfriend's here. He's in the chat right now. What's up, baby?
So you gotta stay. Okay, perfect.
I gotta stay and look at my boyfriend's words. Hi, Kimber. Okay. Kimber. Well, no, but Ricky, I do like that you're just letting your opinion fly, because it's like this isn't necessarily a factual show, although we do talk about facts. But it's like we're really getting, at least I'm enjoying just hearing your opinions on things. So,
wait. So my opinions aren't facts? Wait.
Well,
wait.
You're like all my opinions are facts.
They're religious facts. That's the point, because I think we try to split our opinions from facts. But the reality is we have a limited idea of what a fact is, because we can trace the history of science is that as we learn more, we realize that the way we thought it was, the facts that used to be facts, they ain't facts no more. And that's not going to change all of a sudden. In the future, the things that we hold to be facts, we're going to realize, had some holes in them. I want to specify they're religious facts.
Okay, all right. Let's get some facts going on. So, Jenna, are you ready to extract some facts?
I'm ready to extract some facts. Okay. Here we go. All right.
My pants, though. Look at my
pants.
Yes.
Oh, astrological.
Okay.
Beautiful night sky right there.
Okay.
If you could get a reading from any astrologer that has passed away, so from yesteryear, from any time period, who would it be and why?
At this point, I don't know. I don't know if I would want a reading from another astrologer. But in the spirit of the question, having a conversation about astrology and how it's applied to my life and how it's applied to their life, Dane Rudrar would be.
Wow, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I really like that control feature that Ricky's like, no one else is going to look at my chart, because that's how I am too. I'm like, I'll read my own chart. I've been reading it for 30 years. Thanks. Like, I've been watching the transits on this guy for 30 years. Sorry.
But also, I feel the same way with the people that I'm doing readings for. I hate the word reading, and my goal in talking to them is for them to know their chart better than I do, because they know their life better than I do, and what I'm sharing is just the astrological lens. But if it doesn't connect to their own lived experience, it doesn't mean anything. And when it does connect, or if anything connects to their lived experience and they share that with me, then I get smarter. I get a better sense of how the astrological symbols actually express in real life, not how they express in the books, because it's very different.
You get more facts.
Exactly.
Well, Jenna, I mean, so in astrological remediation, am I allowed to answer the questions, Jenna, or are these for Ricky only?
I think it's up to Rick.
You have to comment. You're the comment. You have to, like, it's like in football, I'm doing the play-by-play and you're the color person. So you have the color.
Okay, I'm the commentator today. So my comment on that is, Jenna, last night we were talking about the astrological self-portrait that's in astrological remediation, and it talks about this like 2-year process when you're trying to get in remedies with somebody. You basically have to do the self-portrait with them where you like name their aspect clusters and then you like watch them in real time and you'd be like, right now your T-square is hit and you're in this mood. Okay, now we have that, and okay. And then like 6 months later, you're like, that T-square is getting hit right now again. And then so you're taking notes on the personality, and it's like, I was making the analogy, Ricky, that like learning your chart at this level with an astrologer next to you is like getting a black belt in karate. It's like after 1 year of watching your chart, you're like a yellow belt, and then after a second year, you're like an orange belt. Like there's something to be said for this long-standing witnessed approach by another astrologer that you can't really get with somebody else. And that's kind of what you're talking about, is this like long-standing look at your chart.
It's so good. I think in my religion, that's the sadhana, that's the spiritual practice.
Mm.
That's the main spiritual practice, is pay attention to your life and your chart and see what you learn.
Do you think astrology is a religion?
100%. Zero. It's funny, but I want to state this, that most of the people on the planet right now have a deep religious wound. So I want to be sensitive to that fact, okay? But yes, 100%. And all of you astrologers who say it's not a belief system, you're all full of shit. Because, right, if you took a step back and you just watched astrologers and you watched people at Bible study or in a church group, you would see way more parallels and similarities than you wouldn't see.
I mean, it makes me want to say then, is science a religion?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a belief system.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
I had a follow-up question to that, which was, do you think it's possible to get a reading from your chosen person, Dane Rudyard, like via psychic mediums or altered states of consciousness?
100%. I would say, here's my belief. I believe as soon as you asked the question and I thought about it and said yes, that in my dreams, in my meditations, okay, a reading from Dane Rudyard is coming. My ability to recognize it as such or receive it as such, that's a different story.
I love that.
So Kimber's saying, so you can believe in astrology and science at the same time and be involved in multiple religions?
100%. 100%. Especially, I think we have to be in the Aquarian age, because we are coming out of the Piscean age, and again, all of us have a religious wound, but that wound is for a purpose. Is because before the Piscean age, the humanity needed religion, and then we got too much of it. Okay, and now we're in the scientific age, so we can use what we've learned from science and apply it to religion, and actually get a religion that's worth a shit.
Well, I would say that you can use astrology scientifically, or you can use it religiously. Like that's the weird thing about astrology, is like, is it a science? Is it a religion? It's like everything that you ever wanted it to be. It's like, but I mean, science kind of does have this like observable evidence kind of repeatability factor to it. Like, and I think you can study astrology. You can study it from a science lens, but you can also just say science is a way of explaining the universe, and so is astrology, and so in that way it's like a science. I mean,
well, I think the word science is used a couple of different ways. I think science is a process, and that's the way I'm thinking of the scientific process. And what the big science that's a religion are the things that we found based on our biased application of the scientific process. So they're related, obviously, but to me they're slightly different. And what I'm saying is, I think the purpose of science is to apply it to the types of information that astrology can give us. I think that they're supposed to blend. And I think that's what's going to happen, because as more people start believing in astrology, eventually people that know how to apply the scientific process will start believing in astrology, and they'll apply that scientific process to astrology, and the baby that comes out will be a religion that's worth the shit.
Wow. All right.
That's really cool. It's like the merging of the two things, which sort of reminds me of how evolutionary astrology is merging psychology or psychiatry with astrology. All right, third question. Is there okay, so the biopsychic script is a term. I know Ricky knows it, but it just means the transits that we all kind of are going to go through at certain times, like Chiron return, age 51. Is there a particular biopsychic script transit that you're looking forward to?
Wait, why does he know this term? Because he's a Stephen Forrest student?
Because he knows
Yeah.
evolution. Yeah. It's a Steve thing.
Well, you guys have like the same dad or something.
Yeah.
Same lineage, dad lineage. Yeah. So
maybe Ricky wants to be in the debate for the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini, where I debate that teleology beats evolutionary. Anyway.
Well, to me, they're the same. I'll just show you how they're the same. That's my.
All right. Well, are you ready for the debate? Because you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm all about overlap. To me, there's never anything to complain about because if you look close enough, it all comes from the same place. Right. So, it's perspective, and luckily, I can appreciate that. It's a really good question. It's a really good question. The Great Convergence, another Stephen term, which is a fancy way of saying the Uranus return, 84.
What? The Uranus return? Are you even going to be standing for that thing?
That's what I'm looking forward to. If I don't, I'll be somewhere. Shit, I might not be here.
You might be giving someone a reading from the other side.
Exactly.
You know, with Bane.
That's what I'm looking forward to because even if you don't make it, right? Again, the momentum of the vision of what you will be when you do make it, that's real. That's real. And again, whether you're on this plane or another, I think if everyone can get to the point where they can say what I'm saying, I think they'll be well on the road to living a successful life. Because to me, the orbit of Saturn, this next slowest before Uranus, is 29 years. All right. And then the next longest is 150 years, Neptune. I'm not talking about Chiron. Okay. So by far, and it's obvious if we look at the average human lifespan, that 84 is the human number. So Uranus is the human planet, and Uranus for us is the planet of individuation. And it's like, what the hell are we here for if it's not to individuate? If you just look at life process, is we come from a matrix, and as soon as we grow up, we stay close until we have a basis. But then most of us are trying to get as far away from that matrix as we can to become our true selves. And according to the math, right, that takes about 84 years. You know? And so I think if that's the aiming point and we're moving towards being completely individuated, which means having something unique to offer based on our willingness to live a little bit for a long time, then that's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Then you can have an essential tremor too. That's very Uranian. Like when people are like tremoring and like shaking at the age of 84, I feel like that's so Uranus return.
I'll definitely be there. I got Uranus tightest aspect in my chart. Uranus opposing Mercury, the ruler of my ascendant.
Oh yeah, square your Saturn. Oh wow,
that Saturn. Dude, as I get older, I'm gonna be shaking. You guys can quote me.
Dude, I can't wait for our podcast on that transit when we get to hear all your epiphanies, basically. Yeah. We'll still be following you around with the camera and be like, what's going on?
Amen
what
to that.
breakthroughs are coming through?
Jenna, is there one that you're looking forward to?
Chiron, of course.
What? Chiron's not even real.
Exactly. Ricky's shaking his head. I don't know.
It's like a trans-Neptunian or something.
I love it.
We can debate on the Mars-Uranus, is Chiron even real?
Thank you. It's the size of Rhode Island.
What? Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so Jenna, why are you looking forward to your fake transit?
First of all, Family Guy is from Rhode Island, and that's a very successful show. So great packages, great small packages. I like it because it's conjunct my moon, and it's the apex of a quintessile yod, and it's part of my Grand Cross. So I am just kind of obsessed with the energy that's kind of pushed into my Chiron. So. And I have Chiron in the sky is on my North Node right now, so it just loves me, I guess. I don't know.
Are you going to be well, is there going to be like a wound that you're going to heal, or is it what? I mean, do we make predictions for our biosocial transits, biopsycho transits?
I hope that it goes really well, which would imply that I already did a lot of the work, but I'll let you know
well, here's the thing. Here's my point of view on the biopsychic script, right? And it's rooted in reality, right? Which a lot of the stuff people say about astrology is not rooted in reality. Most of it. Okay. So to me, it's like saying puberty. Right? We're all gonna go through puberty. That's the biopsychic script. But what is the environment? Parents, kids, friends, school, country, opportunities. What environment is that puberty occurring in? To me, right, that's what's more important than puberty. Right? Puberty sets the stage and helps us understand a certain process, but the material of that process is going to be whatever is in our environment. So the best use of the biopsychic script is not about Chiron or Saturn so much. It's about what else is going on in the chart during that time. And it's funny. I was working on code for this yesterday, all day yesterday, because we're every season, every month we do a workshop. So in Aquarius season, we do a workshop where we invite all the people on the app who have Uranus as the strongest planet to talk about Aquarius season, to talk about Uranus. And so one of the things we're doing is we're using the app to have people go back and find when was their Uranus square, when was their Uranus opposition, et cetera, et cetera. And they can tap it into the AI, and the AI will return the dates of those aspects. Really cool thing that I built. And in addition, once it returns those dates, it says, do you want to see what else was going on in the chart at this time?
Wow.
Because again, Saturn just means exactly, because these biopsychic scripts, it's like puberty, right? There's something that everyone goes through, but it's different for everyone based on the natal chart and based on what other major transits and progressions are going on at the same time.
And I like what you said about what's in your cultural environment at that time. Hey, for anyone in the chat, write what biopsycho transit you're looking forward to. Okay, so
thank you.
Biopsycho, I love that.
Dude, Ricky's getting smarter.
It happens.
Smarter than when we started our show. Okay,
you're seeing him blossom.
That's true.
All right, this question is a little loaded. As a 0-degree Gemini sun, how viscerally are you affected by people who talk about being a cusper?
Oh, that's a good one. It's a good one. That's a good one. I understand where it comes from, and here's the way I think about it. Okay, so the last day of third grade. Okay, usually you don't have work, right? It's just a party, right? And you've gone all the way through third grade, but you're still a third grader. Yes, you're looking forward, and fourth grade is right next door, but you don't know what it's like to be a fourth grader. You don't have that experience because you're not. Okay. Now I'll go to the first day of fourth grade. Okay. You're not a third grader anymore. You're a fourth grader. You're at the beginning of fourth grade. You don't have all of the nuance and context of what it means to be a fourth grader, but you're a fourth grader. Okay. That's the way I try to give the visceral feel of what a cusp means. And if we use progressions, it makes perfect sense. So to me, the significance of being 0 degrees Gemini is that my progressed sun didn't move out of Gemini until I was 29 or 30. So that progressed sun for 30 years moving through Gemini. Someone who's born 29 degrees Taurus, the progressed sun is in Gemini, by the time of your first birthday, usually. So you're spending your first 30 years with the progressed sun moving through a different sign than it was when you were born. Again, the last day of third grade, the first day of fourth grade.
I love that. I want to steal that. That's
it's yours.
Yeah. Awesome. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Her name was Regina. No.
Oh! I'm turning my lights back on. Hold on.
No. Honestly, with food, I'm not very adventurous.
Ricky is so spicy. That's so in brand for him.
Honestly, with food, I'm not that adventurous with what I eat. I'm not. I'm not.
Cancer
So
moon,
it's
cancer moon. It's all comfort food.
yeah. So it's probably something like it's. I mean, I'm embarrassed to answer the question because it's probably something like octopus or something.
Regina. It's probably why it's embarrassing.
I'm not embarrassed about that, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not very adventurous when it comes to eating food.
Okay.
Wait, what was the question? What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. What's the weirdest thing I've ever eaten? God, I don't really eat weird stuff either. I have a Pisces moon. I'm just like, probably, yeah, I don't know. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? Kimber, Shane, Shane's probably eaten some weird stuff. Jenna, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Rated PG.
No, well, obviously we broke down. It's around
He
here.
opened the door. I don't think he knew he opened, but so rated
Well, I was
PG.
just being honest. I mean, when you asked the question, and I think of eating something that's weird, food wasn't the first image that came up.
Dude, I hate that term. Anyway.
Oh,
Well,
moving on. How often?
Sorry.
How often do you bathe?
Do I bathe?
Yeah.
Oh
It
my
depends.
god, this is good. How often do you bathe?
Honestly, it depends. It depends. It depends on what I'm doing. You know, like honestly, at home, maybe 3 times a week.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I go through phases.
one
Sometimes
time
I
a
might. Sometimes if I'm not feeling well, I might take 5 showers in a day.
Oh,
But I bathe. I bathe when I have a reason to. Either I smell myself, or my 4-year-old is complaining, or my wife is complaining. So,
Not a routine then. Got it.
dude, I like how if you're not feeling well, you just like wash the transit off of you.
I'm telling you, it's beautiful. I used to be a more routine person when I had like a routine job, but when I stopped having a job, I don't know, routines just stopped making sense to me.
I want to look at your chart, but I won't do that right now. Do you play? Go ahead.
I mean, it comes back. I think so much, and this is one of the things that I wouldn't say I created it, but it's something that I promote is looking at a chart, looking at the strongest aspect in the chart, because the strongest aspect in the chart is going to be a powerful feature in the person's life, and the strongest aspect in my chart, Mercury opposing Uranus.
Wait, what does that have to do with you bathing though?
Well, because Uranus is opposed. Well, Uranus rules the 6th house, and that's what some people say routines or whatever, blah blah blah. But more specific, Uranus is opposing the ruler of my 1st house. So I have unconventional attitudes and ideas about the body.
Wait, Jenna, how often do you bathe?
I'm kind of with Ricky. Like sometimes it's like, oops, time to bathe. It's been a few days. And then other times, like if I actually get sweaty at the gym, I'm like, oh, maybe I should do some hygiene. How are you, Andy?
Well, I used to swim Monday, Wednesday, Friday to get out of the office, and in that case, I took a big bath in the pool. But since that,
A pool bather. I dated a diver. In college. And she was a pool bather.
Your routine for hygiene. That's
well, and I actually like it as a Pisces moon. Getting under the water, I cannot feel auras when I'm in the pool. So hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's also like a humanity bath where I don't feel humanity for a sec. But now it's to that point of when my head itches. Let's go because I have no time to pool bathe because I'm so busy. But yeah, it's definitely. I've never been told to bathe like Shane's never been like you really need to bathe. You know, I think I catch it first. Because all the Virgo in my chart. Just kidding. I have no Virgo in my chart. But my room, I will tell you, my room. I just cleaned my room for the first time in months, and I was gonna break an ankle on my Pisces moon floor. It was just projects everywhere. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How often do you bathe your room? How often do you take a room bath? Clean your room. How often do you clean your room?
Ricky?
Well, you know, I'm thinking most of the answers to these questions for me is when I want to get laid.
You know what? Okay, I have this thing about being a teacher. I have to tell you this. I watched Stand and Deliver last night. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's about this passionate calculus teacher. and he makes like a sexual comment to one of his students, and I'm just like, it's just like I'm offended. I'm like, how could he do that? But then like I'm a teacher, and then I'm on the Ricky show, and I'm like, I'm as bad as that guy because Ricky's so naughty. Then I'm just like, now I'm that guy. Like, God, being a teacher is just like you can't be human. Okay.
They're the
Well,
most
I think you can. I think you can be, as long as it's, especially as an astrology teacher, as long as it's aligned with your chart. Because anyone that looked at, I mean, when I started doing like spiritual stuff, and all the spiritual gurus and teachers looked at my chart, they were like, "Nope, you're not gonna be a Swami. Nope." they all see the Mars Venus conjunction in Aries in the 8th, and they say, because that's the reality of astrology, is the energy has to express somehow.
Yeah.
And if I was up here prim and proper and someone looked at my chart and they understood astrology, they would say that guy is full of shit.
Well, actually, I have something to say about this. I studied this when I was teaching at the Portland School of Astrology, and everything I studied said that in teaching theory, you have to render yourself to the role of a teacher in the realistic proportion of your personality. Otherwise, the students don't trust you or believe you. So, like for me, like I'm a rocker, like I'm a metalhead. I'm just like I'm rock and roll, right? So it's like for me to not be like adulty is kind of like a fake, you know. But what I used to do is my students would say something like racy, and I'd be like, "Well, the church lady in me is horrified, but the rocker in me totally understands."
Yes.
And I would like move forward. But I'm kind of like tired of doing that act. It's like we get it. Like I'm an adult, you know, like we're adults here. It's adult school, but I don't know. I hope that I hit the right note with never being creepy and being more like a rocker, and that would be my real personality, you know.
But I think if you are creepy, you should be creepy, because that's the only way you're going to learn that you're creepy and do something about it. People.
Yeah, I really don't want to creep my students out though. I mean, but I think I'm more just like a cool chick, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not right now, but you know, it's like, and then my teacher went to her metal show after class. Like, of course I know what, you know, adult things are.
And I think the biggest thing that I feel like I'm attempting to teach is how to be yourself.
Yeah, same. That's astrology for you. What do you think of this, Jenna? This is a side note to your question. What do you think about adultilism in teaching?
Well, so I was a homeschool parent, so my teaching was a lot of either the kids at the co-op or my own kids, and I am so bad at like reining it in and like disciplining other people's wild children. So I just kind of turn into the fun teacher that everyone can walk all over, which is not good. Libra, South Node in the 7th, but that's
Yes.
working on it. But with adults, it's fine. For some reason, I'm able to like slide into like a very serious, like my Capricorn Mars just wants to like, let's do this, let's build this. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I find for me, like one of the reasons I never go totally G-rated with astrology teaching is because students bring up adult topics all the time. They'll be like, "So my Mars in Scorpio in the 8th house conjunct my Venus. So anyway, I was on this date," and you're just like, and if you're fazed by that stuff, you're not going to make it very long in this line of work. You know, you're just not.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point, and I think this is why astrology is a better religion. Because the religion I grew up in, part of the religion was there's certain things you can talk about and certain things that you can't. And even my 4-year-old, he goes to a little Catholic preschool, and already, right, the kids, the little 4-year-olds, they go in the bathroom to be bad, right? because it's where they can go and hide. And the beautiful thing about the astrological religion, it's about the expression of you, not the repression of you.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
My daughter has some problematic behaviors. She's in public school now for high school. They're vaping in the bathrooms. So I hope that's not what your son is witnessing or partaking in.
I mean, he's in preschool, so they just fight, you know?
Oh, okay.
They just fight and show each other their butts, you know?
I know, but you're actually totally right though. In expressionism, we want you to express yourself. To like if people do weird behaviors, like one time I had this client who was in my office and she kept farting during the reading like 4 or 5 times, and she had a Mars Uranus Moon conjunction in Scorpio in the 1st house, and I was like, you are acting out your chart right now. Thank you for being yourself, so I can see the chart at work, right? Like if you're not expressing, we don't really know the chart, you know.
You addressed it out loud?
What?
Did you address it out loud to her?
Oh yeah, I was like, well,
you have to. When someone has that chart, you have to. Otherwise, you're not being a good astrologer.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, you notice how you're trying to surprise me with this kind of foul behavior? Well, then like I'm always like really scientific about it in that way,
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Now I know what to do if I ever have a farting client. That's great.
Well, you gotta look at the chart. I'm telling you, you gotta look at the chart. The chart will tell you exactly what to do.
Fine.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, sorry, Jenna, we diverted.
It's so funny because I was like, I only have 80 questions. Will I possibly run out of questions? Where I'm
Oh
like,
my God, we'll have to have you back with some more questions.
do you play any instruments?
I do. When I was in the 3rd grade, I learned how to play the trumpet, and I don't still play the trumpet, but I know how. But I learned how to read music, and so I'll play around on the piano and I'll play around on the guitar. Sometimes I'll get a song in my head, and usually it has to do with something that's going on in my life. And a couple of weeks ago, the Bon Jovi song "Living on a Prayer" was just running on repeat. And so I was at my mother-in-law's, and she has a piano in her living room. And so I just popped out the iPad and I learned how to play the opening bars. So I feel it's like it's a way to process emotions for me, to be able to not only sing a song or listen to a song, but to put some energy into learning how to play the song.
Do you think that's Neptune on your IC?
I think it's his Cancer moon.
I think it's to me, the planet that is most associated with music, especially as the kind that runs in our head, is the moon. And you'll see, it's not all the time, but one of the things, the lenses that I use to view an astrological chart is what is someone's strongest planet. And very often when I see the moon as the strongest planet, music often plays a major role in someone's life. How the music plays a role, I think you can say my Virgo rising. So I'm more inclined to pick up something and want to learn.
Ricky, I have "Living on a Prayer" in my sheet music, so I'll have to make you a vid. I'll have to play it for you.
Yeah.
Did you watch when I played you "Purple Rain"?
I did. It was beautiful. So for me, a planet in a house doesn't give us enough information. A planet in a house making an aspect, that's the missing piece. So Neptune in the 3rd, conjunct the IC in aspect to the moon is I would, and square the ascendant, so you see how it ties into the moon and the Virgo ascendant.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because I find when the transiting moon is moving through the 3rd house and it connects with my Neptune, very often I'm driving around jamming out to music.
That's awesome.
That was such a good question. I was so curious about that.
Yeah, I'll never know what will hit and what will flounder. Do you have a celebrity crush?
I have a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch, but it's tricky. It's tricky when you start to get older because your celebrity crushes your celebrity crushes get older. But yeah, I had a crush on an actress, Rachel Weisz, and another actress, all these British actresses. I'll remember her name, but there's two that come to mind.
Have you been to Britain?
I have. They were brief trips, but I have.
I was just thinking,
Isn't the crush so different when you're 48, like than when you were 20? Like it's like what makes you have a crush on somebody when you're 48?
Rose Byrne, that's the other one. Rose Byrne and Rachel Weisz. Those are my.
Well, the follow-up question is, what makes you have a crush on them?
That's a really good question. I think there's the fact that they're British. I think there's something about the characters they play, and maybe they remind me of people in my life. But the characters they play are beautiful and really intelligent, and they have that kind of British humor.
Oh, dude, Shane has a crush on someone. I'm pissed. My boyfriend has a crush, and he's talking about it. Miss Scorpio.
But it's after you watch The Mummy, so that's nice.
I'm just kidding. We're not in a monotonous relationship. You can have a crush.
So I went back. When I was going through my heavy Rachel Weisz. It was before The Mummy, but it was right during the first Mummy. I went back and I watched some of her older movies. There's a movie called Sunshine where she falls in love, I think, with brothers, and it's in Nazi Germany. Yeah, so something about her definitely captured my imagination. I have to look at their two charts and to see if there's anything that jumps out in common between
what's
the
your
two.
composite chart with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, or your Sinistry. Kimber and I have looked at Sinistry before with like her favorite authors. Ricky, your app says that Mercury's Kimber's strongest planet, so she definitely likes to authors. Mine's Pluto, which was very shocking and surprising, but I will take that award.
Yeah,
proudly.
I find the Pluto strongest planet is the one that is most shocking. And I think the reason it's the most shocking is because I think it's the planet by definition, if you're not including Chiron, by definition, it's the planet we know least about because we've been working with it for the shortest amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just a quick story about a conversation I had with Steve. So Steve is not he wasn't a fan of the strongest planet idea, but mainly he wasn't a fan of the name strongest planet, right? And we were doing a survey looking at charts of people he knows and looking at their strongest planet, and we got to his sister, and his sister's strongest planet was Pluto, and I think she's a Libra rising, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, no, he was like, it can't be. He's like, she's kind of prim, blah, 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 blah. And then he thought about it. He's like, the only thing is her son committed suicide. Wow. So the idea, and so his issue with the strongest planet by name is, I think when he hears the strongest planet, what he translates it into is the planet that's closest to us, meaning the one we most easily identify with. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is strongest planet, it's the planet that is going to have the greatest impact on your life. And so some people, they own the strongest planet because it's closer to them and it's easier to own. So their life feels more like it's in their control. But if your strongest planet is something that is far away from you, these are people that'll always feel like life is doing things to them. And so the strongest planet is a planet that it has the greatest ability to affect your life. And my advice is be conscious of that strongest planet and you'll feel in more control of your life.
Yeah. I'm a narcissist, so I'm like all 10 planets are strongest for me.
They all love me.
I think we can work towards, I think that's the idea, to work towards that. And a reminder that the natal chart is the chart of birth. It's the starting point, right? It's the starting raw materials. It's not what we do with them.
I really appreciate that explanation. It's given me a lot to ponder. I'm in my Pluto square, so now I got a lot more to ponder.
Kimber's looking forward to her Pluto square. That's what she said.
Yeah. I'm saying this is part of your Pluto square. Yeah. Honestly, when people go through Pluto aspects, that's when I show up.
Oh. All right.
That's perfect. All right. So what is your favorite saying, slogan, affirmation?
Oh, favorite. Okay. The first one that comes to mind is life happens for you, not to you.
Whoa. So positive. Well, it's very much like grab life by life is your oyster.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. I literally wrote it down. Pineapple on pizza.
I'm not going to say hell no. When I was younger, yes. Now, no thank you.
Pre-Uranus opposition.
Pre-Saturn return.
Oh, you got real serious at your Saturn return and didn't like the pineapple anymore.
My Saturn return, I was exiled. My Saturn return is a funny story, but I digress.
Yeah, exile is a really funny situation.
It was for me.
That's funny.
I'm really curious about how you're having the Mars opposing your Moon square your Pluto right now.
Honestly, it's
Venus is also there and the Sun, so it's kind of weird.
Well, it's all there, but I'm telling you, I think when you start to live, and this is a religious statement. When you start to live and flow with your chart, it doesn't seem like anything is out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
right. It's almost like living according to the seasons. You lock into it, and it's like, okay, right? It's winter, it's spring, it's summer, it's fall.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something when you get a good marriage going on, and there's something about the charts that don't like exacerbate each other, where then you can freely flow, because I think sometimes when we're early and we're in our hard synastry relationships, like the flow messes with people and um okay. Well, all right,
You
so you're
said it. I just have to acknowledge you read my mind and you said it, especially because it's an activation to the moon, and I think the moon rules women. So I think the fact that my wife is cool is what's making this transit easy.
yeah, that's true.
But because to me the closest way, the easiest and closest way for discord and coming from the chart to manifest in our lives is the people that are closest to us. Right, just proximity, right? I need to have a bad day, all right, I'm gonna choose you. I'm gonna choose you to play that role.
Yeah. That's so true. Well, and just speaking to the flow state thing, like Mars is trining my moon. This isn't about me, but I'm the commentator. Mars is trining my moon, squaring my Pluto, and I started to feel emotionally off, and I was like, gonna clean my room, gonna deep clean my room. And I just like immediate transmutation to the point where it's like people looking from the outside wouldn't really know I was emotionally bent out of shape. But I mean,
You got it.
Yeah.
It. That's it. That's perfect. That's a perfect way to describe it. Is that if we handle the transits and progressions right in our consciousness, then it doesn't show up as events. We might worry that the event is going to show up, and that's that worry, right, gets us to do some inner work, and so the event doesn't happen in the outer world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for my Chiron. Do you say pecan or pecan? This is a very serious question.
I don't. I'm not really a pecan. Pecan is what comes out. Pecan.
Good. That is the correct pronunciation. So
oh, good.
You get a point for that. What is your favorite aspect pattern? None.
Well, none. A T square. A T square is my favorite aspect pattern. I think people get carried away with aspect patterns. Because it takes us away from the individual. It takes people out of interpreting the individual aspects that make up the aspect pattern.
Okay, I like that.
I think there's just so much in astrology where we have these terms, and the terms are supposed to mean something, and people don't actually take a magnifying glass and look like a stellium, right? A stellium. Well, what is a stellium? Right? It's multiple planets in the same house or sign, and very often those planets are conjunct each other. So to me, it's about, if we use the statement, that's telling us to pay attention to something, but we still have to look deeper at what that something is made of to truly understand, really understand what it's about.
That's a really interesting question. It would be like saying, like, what's your favorite chord in music? It's because it's like T square is different in every chart, right? It's like the C chord is the C chord, but like what's it juxtaposed with, and what's it, kind of thing. And I really like that question. Jenna, you're good at this 100 questions thing.
Well, because I find like the grand trine. Okay, to me, most of the people that I talk to about a grand trine are disappointed that that is not doing more for them, right? And to me, that kind of thinking is it's not healthy. It's not good for astrology, and it's not good for people. To me, it's not about what is the aspect pattern doing to me. It's about what can I do with this aspect pattern.
The grand trine is not happening to you. It's happening for you.
Exactly. Exactly. For you, but specifically the nature of a grand trine, it's there for you, but you have to act on it. And there's going to be typically many things in your life trying to convince you not to act on it.
Yeah, it's actually a gift to the world. People always think it's for them. I'm like, actually, that's the easy thing you do that you can help other people with.
Yeah, most grand trines lead to people complaining that other people don't have as much ease in that area as they do.
So,
what is your most important ritual?
My most important ritual is my morning prayers. My morning prayers. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Would you consider that like a self-care routine?
Oh, zero doubt. It's 100% a self-care routine. If I don't do it for a couple of days, I go down in vibration.
Do you have a favorite prayer?
I do. I found created prayers for each of the planets. And so depending on the heaviest transits and progressions, I lean into those prayers. So I have the progressed sun squaring my Mars in the 10th house, squaring my Mars Venus conjunction in Aries. And so I've been doing a lot of sun prayers. A lot. And the sun is my weakest planet. So I've been doing a whole lot of sun prayers.
Wow. I like that. How do you ground yourself?
You're grounded.
Work, just writing code, creating. It's a good question because I wake up and I have huge ideas, and I'm always thinking, how do I get this huge idea into the app? And so just the nature of that is very grounding. And so work.
Wow.
Time check. We have 5 minutes. Just so you know, I got to leave at 55.
Oh gosh. Okay. Do you collect anything?
I'm sure I collect something.
Students.
No, I don't want to collect students. They can
Children.
Children. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I would say I don't collect anymore, but I've collected modalities. Yeah.
I like that.
Modalities, spiritual outlooks. Like I grew up Christian and then got really intense into yoga and Hinduism, got really intense into Buddhism, got really intense into astrology, craniosacral therapy. So modalities or lineages, I'd say. That's it, lineages. I collect lineages.
That's still Mercury in the 9th. I mean, I don't know if you put Mercury in your 9th, but...
So for me, the collect, what do I collect is a second house question. And I have Uranus in the second house. And for us, lineage is the 6th house. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius on the cusp of my 6th house. So what makes life sense and astrological sense is I collect lineages. And they're alternative lineages. Because there's a certain feel as I went into each of these lineages that I was different and it was different.
You think that could also be Gemini?
I have the Gemini sun in the 9th house. So this is a good example of when you ask a question and someone say, that's my blah, blah, blah. That's the main urge, but we don't do anything with just the main urge. It needs the support of other things. And so the fact that I have Sun, Jupiter, and Gemini in the 9th house, that there's going to be religions or philosophies in my realm, and my Mercury in the 8th house, there's an interest in occult studies if they happen to come across. And there's a direct connection between religious or philosophies and occult studies. And I happen to find myself in situations where I had a mentor and there was a lineage. And those are 6th house situations.
Definitely.
And I come back to the Uranus opposing my Mercury.
What TV show do you find most bingeable? / do you watch TV?
I don't watch TV, but I've binged series, and I will say the last season I binged was a show called Warriors, and it was about Chinese coming over in San Francisco in the 1800s. And I find when I binge, because I'm not a normal TV watcher, when I binge, very often there's a Venus or a Neptune transit. And I think Venus, Neptune, those are planets that rule the arts. And I think we're more receptive to receiving things from television, movies, drama, etc. when we're under those activations.
Yeah, from a development theory perspective, binging is the soul taking a certain topic and learning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Getting deep into it. You do say
the depth psychologists would call that amplification.
Oh, wow.
I want to end on like a cheery note, and this might be our last question. Do you do Santa with your kids?
I do until they don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
It's like this year, the 4-year-old, we like got him Mars is the strongest planet, so we got him a little electric dirt bike at 4.5, and we like wrapped it up and we put it outside. Just say Santa couldn't get it through the chimney, and we walked outside and we're like, look what Santa left. And then he like opened it and he went to my wife and he was like, thanks, Mom, for the bike. And I was like, all right, I guess he gets it, you know.
He's like, I know we're
I think
keeping this up for Dad, but
yeah, I think he's smart though. He's super smart. So he's like, it almost feels like he's playing along with us, you know.
Mhm.
that's really
All right. Well, Jenna, you really brought it there. Ricky, I hope you enjoyed all of the inquiry into your personal life. And
Oh, this was awesome. Yeah.
well, so next week we have on your husband, right, Jenna?
yeah, I'm wicked excited for that.
Okay, and yeah, we'll have to look at he's a jujitsu guy, so we'll be having some more masculinity in the atmosphere.
He does
We're
know a
talking
little.
about Mars.
but-
What is
Yeah.
it?
Go ahead.
What's the
I was
topic?
saying,
Okay,
He's been preparing it. He's also a massage therapist, so like, and he
Oh, that's
trains jujitsu. Like, he's really like. I was like, this is gonna be interesting. You're gonna hit a lot of topics, but probably not a lot of astrology.
well, jujitsu. Well, this is already astrology because jujitsu and massage therapists are both ruled by Mars.
all right, you guys. I'm sorry, I gotta call it.
Awesome.
This is too much fun. You're too cool, and you're too awesome. All right, well, we will see you next week at church, Ricky.
All right, I'll be here.
Wear your best. Okay. Thank you,
All
Jenna.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone in the chat. Bye.
Bye.